Alright guys, what's going on? Levi Trumbull reporting here, and I'm just going to come straight out of the gate and say it. Viewer discretion is advised on this video. Today we are going to be dealing on a tough topic, and that is on the matter of child exploitative material. As usual, when we cover situations and stories like the ones that we are going to cover today, it's always important that we find the balance between what is in the public interest to see versus what should be left out, and how relevant the story is, and is the person who is the subject of the story a public figure. Like, how, what is the importance of bringing something like this to light, if it could otherwise not be done in a public fashion. And it's a balance that you sort of just have to find. And on today's video, we're going to talk about some things, show you some things here that I think are important, given the circumstances of the case that we're going to bring to you. So the person that you're seeing right here, this is somebody named Andrew Rosenfeld. This is an individual who, he's in his 60s, and he was charged with 10 counts related to the possession of child exploitative material. As you can see right here, this is actually a press release from the city of Frederick, Maryland, where he lived. He lived in Frederick, Maryland. I'm not sure if it was city or county, but he was from Frederick, Maryland, and we're going to put his picture up on the screen. You can see it a little bit down here, but we're going to blow it up right here, if you can see this. This was his mugshot. So we've blown that up for you. You've gotten a good look at who this individual is, and like I said, he is in his 60s. But here's where this story really gets interesting: is this person right here, Andrew Rosenfeld, was actually a music professor at Mount St. Mary's College. That's a college here in the state of Maryland, and he was a professor of music at this college. And from what I've seen and what I have read, evidently a very well respected, very well liked professor at this school. The students seem to very much take a liking to him, and he was also a part of some symphonies, some orchestras, some local music groups here in Frederick. So a prominent figure, and somebody who could be looked as somebody who is a leader, or just a prominent person. And what is interesting is when you talk to law enforcement, they will always tell you that with individuals like these, they always say that it can be anyone. Anyone can commit these types of crimes. It's the unknown. There are not a particular set of factors that they look for, because it's a gray area. It can be anyone and everyone who could commit a crime like this. And that's the problem with trying to actually weed these people out, is that they sort of live amongst us, right? So we've shown you his picture, we've told you what it is he's charged with, and we are going to bring you the application for statement of charges in just one moment. But before we do that, as you can see, like I told you, he was a professor in the music department at Mount St. Mary's University, this Maryland college. He had a 4.3 out of 5 ratings, and people overall were very positive of this professor. So one person writes here, he is hysterical, and he cares so much for what you do, encourages us to do our best, always fun stories he had. And then this person said, overall solid professor and really fun professor, definitely has great knowledge and interest in the subject and projects that to the students. This is another person saying Dr. Rosenfeld is hilarious. You cannot go one class without him cracking an off-the-wall joke. He knows basically everything there is to know about music, which makes him nitpicky. He demands a lot and will get on your nerves at some point during the semester. but it's hard to stay annoyed with him because he genuinely cares for all his students, right? And you can go on and on and on, and there generally is good feedback as it relates to I guess he's a doc. I mean, he must have a doctorate in music, evidently, something like that. But this is his mugshot, and and it's hard to contrast the two things, right? I mean, it's really something. And we'll read one more review of this music professor at Mount St. Mary's University. This individual says he's one of the greatest teachers at the Mount. He is demanding at times, but knows how to make you laugh even when you don't want to. My advice is to go to all of his practices/classes. You will regret missing. Brace yourself for a lot of scandalous jokes and enjoy. I wonder what they meant by scandalous jokes, because he's in a little bit of a scandal at the moment, but nonetheless, somebody who has a good PR up until the point where he was arrested and charged. So now we want to bring you to the application for statement of charges like we normally do. And as you can see, this situation right here, he was charged, yeah, that's right, the possession of exploitative material, 10 counts. 10 counts in this document, and this was filed November 14th of last year, late at night, 9:18 p.m. And I wonder who was the charging officer. I wonder if I can see that. Oh, it was Detective Sharp. Detective Sharp. All right, and with that, guys, we are going to read you some of this application for statement of charges. So it starts off by saying, let's zoom in, if you guys don't mind. You guys can get a good look. This child exploitation investigation involves a subject later identified as Andrew Buckley Rosenfeld, date of birth 3/1/1962, possessing image files containing child exploitative material. Rosenfeld acts were discovered in 2 cybertip reports investigations. On February 23rd, 2023, Detective Sharp, was assigned a CTR from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Reported in the first initial report related to the electronic service provider ESP Microsoft, Microsoft reported a similar image search for child sexual abuse material, aka child pornography, using Bing images referred to as visual search. The one file identified is as follows. And again, this is the name of the file right here. Wonder if we can annotate, if we can sort of highlight. That might be helpful, yeah. So this is the file name right here. And then the internet, the IP address, we see it right here. This is how they catch you. For all you cyber criminals out there, they're going to get you if you don't mask your IP. Here's his IP address right here. And on February 23rd, this is the description right here. I'm not going to read that, but it was a image of a child, a white female child, approximately 5 to 8 years of age, and in that image, you can read that right there. That's what you have. So disturbing stuff. On March 1st, 2023, I was assigned a second CTR from the NCMEC, where the ESP of Microsoft reported another Bing image search of an image that was CSAM, aka child pornography, from the same IP address listed in the first CTR. The file was identified as follows. And again, this is the second image right here. So what it seems like is he was trying to do a reverse image search on Bing. For some reason, that's what I understand this to mean. Again, from that same IP address right there. And that file description, again, we're not going to read it to you in full, but it's an image of a white female child, approximately 5 to 8 years old, and that image depicted is of the child wearing a jean dress with no underwear, with the child positioned in a manner with legs spread open, exposing her stuff. Later in this CTR investigation, legal demand was provided to Comcast Cable Communication for IP address subscriber information. On April 5, 2023, responsive information from Comcast Communication provided that the IP address 76.114.131.143 during the reporting times of incident were listed to Andrew B. Rosenfeld, listed at the address of 1803 Gring Spring Place, Unit 204, Frederick, Maryland, and with that phone number. Legal demand was also provided to T-Mobile Wireless to obtain subscriber information for the phone number listed in the Comcast Cable Communication return. So they got that number, they determined it was a T-Mobile number, and then they sent a legal demand for information for T-Mobile. On August 7, 2023, responsive data from T-Mobile provided that the phone number linked to the Comcast cable account belongs to Andrew B. Rosenfeld, again with the same address, with the account being active since April 15, 2013. Between the months of July and August, one another Frederick Police Department detectives conducted physical surveillance of Rosenfeld's apartment complex. Using other law enforcement assistance, I was able to determine that Rosenfeld did not have anyone living with him at the address where he was staying, and was able to locate the primary vehicle belonging to Rosenfeld. During this time of the investigation, I was able to determine that Rosenfeld is actively employed by Mount St. Mary's University, located at 16300 Old Emmitsburg Road in Emmitsburg, Maryland, but at the time it was unclear at what capacity. After reviewing the facts of the case with, this is State's Attorneys, Joyce King, Frederick County State's Attorney's Office, I then completed a search and seizure warrant for the address, again that's the address he lives at, that was approved by the Honorable Judge Martz Fisher of the Circuit Court of Frederick County, Maryland, on September 15, 2023. During the morning hours, Frederick Police Department detectives executed a search and seizure warrant at the address of 1803 Green Spring Place, Unit 204, Frederick, Maryland, belonging to Andrew B. Rosenfeld. During the search warrant, I met with Rosenfeld in the spare bedroom of the apartment with Sergeant Grigsby, which Rosenfeld was read his Miranda rights. Rosenfeld elected not to speak with investigators at that time. During the execution of the warrant, investigators were able to locate evidence of CSAM on Rosenfeld's cell phone, recently viewed hours prior to the execution of the search warrant. So again, that's CSAM. I believe that's child sexual abuse material. During secondary searches of the apartment, investigators were able to locate an orange thumb drive that was collected for the investigation. While reviewing evidence that was being collected/previewed in accordance with the search and seizure warrant, Rosenfeld requested to speak with me in regard to the investigation. Sergeant Grigsby and I confirmed with Rosenfeld that he wished to waive his right to remain silent without any promises or threat of coercion, which Rosenfeld elected to speak with Sergeant Grigsby and I in his bedroom. During that interview, Rosenfeld admitted being in possession of CSAM material, aka child pornography, informing that some files would be located on the orange thumb drive that was collected as evidence for the investigation. Rosenfeld was asked how long he has been viewing and possessing child pornography, which Rosenfeld elected not to answer the question. I confirmed with Rosenfeld if he wanted to exercise his right to remain silent or not. Right to remain silent or not answer that single question. Rosenfeld confirmed that he wished to continue with speaking with me, but did not want to answer that single question. During the interview, Rosenfeld confirmed that he is a professor at Mount St. Mary's University and that he teaches Sunday school classes at a Jewish center located in Frederick, Maryland. Rosenfeld could not tell me about the ages of the children that would be located on the contraband seized from the residence, but informed me that he has never traveled to meet a child for sexual intercourse. Rosenfeld informed me that he would find CP material by conducting Google searches. During the month of October 2023, Detective K. Rafter completed forensic examinations of all evidence collected from the search and seizure warrant. Detective Rafter informed me that she was able to locate evidence of CSAM, again, that's the child sexual abuse material, aka child pornography, along with websites that Rosenfeld visited to screenshot images that were later saved to other electronic devices. Going through the forensic examination report, I was able to see key Google search terms: little girl feet up. You know, maybe I'm not probably going to read these, but this is what he was searching. You know, preteen feet. He was looking for nude teen twinks, preteen bare feet, and gorgeous little girls' bare feet. The following illegal files were located on one of Rosenfeld's electronic devices. And again, it goes in, it's given file names, descriptions. File names, descriptions. You know, I am not going to be reading a lot of this, but file names, descriptions. You know, as you can see, it lists 10 of them, and then it concludes with saying that based on the facts of this investigation, probable cause exists that Rosenfeld possessed child pornography imagery. After consultation with the Frederick County State's Attorney's Office, I respectfully request that an arrest warrant be issued for Andrew Buckley Rosenfeld, charging him with the following criminal offenses. And it goes on to list, the 10 offenses that are aforementioned above, right here. So guys, there you have it right there. Again, just a unbelievable situation, and we're going to go back to, let's see, just an unbelievable situation. We're going to go back to where we started with the reviews, as you can see right here, and just an unbelievable situation. So guys, we'll keep our eyes on it. But we thought that this story was important to bring to the viewers. We thought it gave rise to sort of get perhaps more detailed than we normally would. We did this the last time we did this, I believe, was when we covered the mayor of, it's like the mayor of College Park or something like that. I can't particularly remember who that gentleman was, but you know, in cases like these where you have somebody who's a prominent figure like this, I absolutely think it gives rise to bring this to light as much as possible without overdoing it. And I hope that, you know, we have found that balance and that we will continuously do so in the future. So with that, guys, just very heart-wrenching stuff, because at the end of the day, you know, there are real victims on the other sides of this crime. Every time you share that image, every time you look at that image, whatever you're doing with it, it is the continuous re-victimization of a minor victim, and it's not good. And for a guy like this who's in his 60s, for a guy like this who is teaching young people at a college and who is teaching young people at at a Jewish classes, at a local house of worship, just not a good look, not a good situation, guys. So with that, Levi Trumbull reporting, and we will catch you the next time.